And just like snap, y'all, they played us. It's official. They've been playing us. I've never done a video recap like this in my life. And here I am debriefing the second season of the Sex and the City reboot with you. I am a huge Sex and the City fan. And like many of you, I had to give And Just Like That a shot. Season 2 of And Just Like That has ended. Let's talk about this finale. The episode begins with Carrie. She's on the phone with Aiden, who is still in Virginia with Wyatt Earp. That is his son, his spoiled brat of a kid that stole a car, ran into a tree, and had Aiden all boo-hooing in the car last episode. This kid gives me the irk. It is so not Carrie, girl. What are you doing? It's never gonna work with Wyatt Earp. Honey, I'm sorry, I hate being right about these things. So Carrie's walking into her iconic apartment and she's preparing for the big goodbye house party where she's won this raffle and a Michelin Man chef dude is gonna come to the apartment and cook for all of her fancy friends. Does her apartment seem bigger to you, or is it just this like wide angle lens? I don't know. So she's talking to and cuddling with this cat she adopted. Like Carrie's been this known cat person the whole time. Carrie's never been a pet person. Miranda was the cat person, right? Remember Fatty the cat? Whatever happened to Fatty? I guess Fatty no more. Now Carrie's attached to this cat and walks around saying things like, I need to go find my kitty. And with no Samantha there to pick up on a dirty joke, it just seems like a lot of lost opportunities. Carrie gets a call from Samantha, and y'all, I hate this. They've been teasing this big Samantha cameo all season. They leaned on that hard, and I guess they were just doing what they felt they had to do for ratings, because this cameo is a 30-second phone call where Samantha tells Carrie she can't make it to the dinner. She was gonna come in and surprise her on the red eye. She was gonna fly in, shove a Michelin Man chef bread roll in her mouth, and then head back on a plane to London. But her flight is delayed, so she'll never make it. They do this stupid farewell apartment thing where Carrie puts Samantha on speakerphone. Hi, Prairie. Talking about Carrie, not Prairie. Talking about Carrie, not Prairie. You little cutie. So Carrie puts Samantha on speakerphone and Samantha does like this eulogy to the apartment. It's so dumb. Dumb. And she's speaking in a British accent like she's Britney, but it's really a callback to Annabelle Bronstein when Samantha found the key card to get into the pool, rooftop pool, in the middle of summer in New York, so she pretended to be a Brit. It's a callback, but it falls flat. I didn't find it cute or nostalgic or anything. Carrie hangs up with Samantha and realizes she left the door open, so she's having this mini panic attack about the cat, but it turns out the cat just walked into the hallway. I thought they were setting us up for Carrie to lose the cat or the cat to run away, but like almost everything else in this show, it was pointless and it never came back. Cut to the Goldenblatt household, and Harry is waking Charlotte up. She slept in her clothes. She has a massive hangover, and I can feel that through this. I'm in pain for her. Even my hair hurt. She went out the night before with her coworkers because, if you recall, she sold some big art piece to Sam Smith. They took her out to celebrate. All season, Charlotte has been writing this storyline about finding herself. She's not just a wife, she's not just a mother, she's a person, you know? Oh, Charlotte. All she ever wanted to be was a wife and a mother. So I guess the point of the story is you're just never satisfied. Harry is telling Charlotte that Anthony is on his way to speak to her about losing his ass virginity, because apparently Anthony has always been a top that's not a bottom his whole little gay life. So whatever. Harry is kind of stomping around, pouting about how he had to do everything himself that morning without the help of Charlotte. Harry woke himself up. He got the kids off. He took a deuce and fixed his hair. And he can't do it all alone, he's yelling at Charlotte. Charlotte, rightfully so, kind of puts him in his place, tells him to pull the ambulance over and tell Anthony she's unavailable because she's gonna projectile vomit if she keeps opening her mouth to speak. There's some anti-gender role propaganda within Charlotte's clapback at Harry, but it's so trite and it's not even worth it. We go to Steve on the boardwalk at his little food truck or crab shack or whatever that is, and Miranda shows up unexpectedly. True to form, they have a very civil, bland conversation about how they did well and at least they're good parents, which is debatable if you ask me. Miranda doesn't want Steve to forget about her or forget about his family. Steve wants to make sure that Miranda's not leaving the door open for them to get back together in the future. And Miranda says no. Again, the scene is kind of pointless. Naya is in her office and some guy or coworker comes in and tells her that she's been unanimously elected to the American Law Institute. He sings her praises and then she goes home to her roommate Miranda and tells Miranda about it, but she's real melancholy and explains to Miranda that she feels like she can't even celebrate this success because she doesn't have Andre to talk about it to, or no mans for that matter. She tells Miranda she doesn't really feel like being around people and she's trying to get out of Carrie's Last Supper. But Miranda tells her, yo, there's this Michelin Man chef guy coming, so think about that. And then Naya's like, okay, I guess I'll go. And just like that, we're at the dinner party thing. Carrie's running around playing hostess. She's appropriately dressed like a circus ringleader, but I'm not mad at it. Lisette, the neighbor girl, is also at the party. She's moving into Carrie's apartment, as we know, so she's kind of following Carrie around like a puppy, fawning all over her and her closet and asking her dumb things about like the stain on the ceiling. LTW tells Charlotte that she lost the baby. Charlotte she's wearing floaties. You know those pool sleeves that kids wear so they don't drown in the water? That's all I can think about when I see Charlotte's outfit. But Charlotte's been all poof all season, so knows poof, you're a poof. No surprise there. Anthony and Giuseppe arrive. Anthony cracks an ass joke. No pun intended. Anthony cracks an ass joke about his not being on the menu that evening, so we can assume that Anthony is still solely a top at this point. But I'm cringing all the way through because I know these writers are setting us up to experience Anthony's butt deflowering, and I'm just ew. You know, it's got nothing to do with man on man or anything like that. Just keep it in the bedroom, sisters. Just gross. So as I was watching it, I was just like on pins and needles, like, oh gosh, might as well just fast forward. I think I did. The old podcast gang is there at the Last Supper, so Che and Jackie take turns insulting each other. This is how comedians show love, they explain. None of it's funny. Where's the comedian? No. Che actually makes her first funny, if you ask me, in this scene. Jackie says something like, give me that stuff I need, or you know what I need, and Che asks him, Zoloft? I let out a little chuckle on that one, I'm ashamed to admit. But my standards have dipped so low this season, so you have to consider that. Miranda and Naya arrive and run into the Michelin Man chef as soon as they get into the door. And it happens to be this sexy guy that Naya met at the bar one evening when she was wallowing over Andre. Michelin Man is played by Gary Dordan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but he is super sexy. So things seem to be looking up for Naya. Her frown is turned upside down and she channels the Webster's Dictionary of a giddy schoolgirl the rest of the evening. Again, it's so trite, so lazy, and such a quick turnabout. Like I get whiplash, like ow, my neck. A second ago, Naya couldn't even celebrate the honor of being elected to the American Law Institute because she didn't have a man to share that news with. And just like that, the Michelin Man winks at her and all better. Like, psh, my neck, my back. Miranda is serving us sexy Cruella de Vil. She's giving us Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada. She's wearing this red gown with this half cape thing. It's hot. It could use a high slit, but again, I'm not mad. But Miranda is still a cyborg, so don't expect any funny, witty, classic SATC Miranda in this season finale, unfortunately. Che Diaz is just minding her own business, talking life transitions with Lisette and slamming shots in the kitchen, and Miranda seeks Che out. She's like, hello. Solely to tell her we can't ruin Carrie's thing. They're such children. Was it necessary to verbalize acceptable party decorum? Was it necessary? You know how when you're trying too hard not to care, it comes off as obsessive? That's how this came off. But they've been making Miranda obsessive, I feel like, all throughout and just like that. So I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. And since it's always the Che Diaz show, Che doesn't even really address Miranda's comment about not ruining Carrie's dinner party. She just goes straight into, I will never reuse those jokes that she told at her comedy set when she was using Miranda for material. Instead of accepting Che's apology, Miranda mommies her and kind of beats a dead horse, right? She's all, those jokes were not funny. Che tells her, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. They make peace with their short-lived love affair, and just like that, they're out of high school. Whew. Again, like, ow, my neck, whiplash, like just things so quickly turning about, and it doesn't make sense. All better now. LTW and Herbert are mingling with Giuseppe and Anthony, and Giuseppe reveals he plans to go to Rome, and he says it in a way that he's not just planning to visit Rome, but he's actually planning to return to Rome. Enter Seema and Ravi, and Seema's just graduated Miranda's crash course in how to drive a love interest away, so she's all obsessive and immature guy repellent. Seema tells Carrie ever since she told Ravi that she loves him, he's been distant and dismissive and always on his phone. Seema, everyone is always on their phone. Carrie tries to steer Seema back to reality, assuring her that Ravi is 100% interested in her and observing that it looks like Seema is the one pulling away out of fear. Anthony and Giuseppe step into Carrie's closet to speak privately, and Giuseppe tells Anthony his walls are too high, his guard is up, he's just impenetrable. This is why Giuseppe's considering moving to Rome. And just like that, Anthony concedes, he admits his shortcomings and tells Giuseppe he loves him. Ouch, my neck, my back. All the guests are oogling this kitten, which we learned Carrie has named Shoe. I don't know if I love it or hate it yet, so I'm moving on. Carrie's cradling this thing like an infant and referring to it as her baby. So as we pan over LTW, we can see from her somber expression that Carrie's cat affections are causing her to reflect on her own recent loss. It's just a cat. But And just like that, needs us idiot viewers to make this ridiculous connection between Carrie's cat and LTW's pregnancy, which was unable to go full term. LTW is so reactive, she has to aggressively remove herself from the group, run into the bathroom. Herbert then follows her. They have a conversation about it's not her fault, things like this happen, and just like that, they make peace with, their recent unfortunate situation, and let's go back to the party and have some grub. My neck, my back, too much, too quick. Now, let's talk about this meal. And I use that term loosely because Michelin Man forgot the food. I'm not kidding. Because he forgot the food, he must have just opened up Carrie's refrigerator and all that was in there were some ketchup and mayo. And so he grabs the condiments from the refrigerator door and he cooks the condiments. I'm not kidding. The first course was a dollop of daisy and a side of spoon. They're so hungry, they're eating the flatware. But because all these guests are so bougie, they're and ah, and it's just so ridiculous. And Naya, Naya attempts, I suppose, to channel our beloved Samantha and pulls one of these, it's like an explosion in my mouth. I wasn't expecting that. All while holding this hard eye contact with the ketchup cooking chef. It's so bad. It's so bad, so embarrassing. I promise, this is the truth. I had to get up and walk that off. I had to walk that one off. Next, Ravi takes a call during dinner, which enrages Seema to the point of actually communicating her feelings, concerns, and delusions, frankly. Again, it's not worth devoting too much time to. He basically tells her she's wrong about him and exposes her insecurities for just that. So at the Last Supper, Carrie proposes this round robin New Year's resolution thing, even though it's not New Year's. She wants each guest to go around and say one word representing what they want to let go. Anthony lets go of control. Giuseppe lets go of Rome. Seema lets go of distrust. Miranda and LTW both let go of guilt. Limits for Charlotte. And finally, expectations for Carrie. Carrie goes into a little soliloquy on why she chose that word and what it means to her. Miranda has to make an early and abrupt exit from the Last Supper when she gets a call from her boss who cannot attend an interview on the BBC and needs Miranda to fill in for her. It was kind of cute and a little nostalgic. Miranda high-stepping down Carrie's brownstone steps, and we get the taxi, and then she jumps in the back out of breath and is whisked away to her television debut. Back from the Last Supper, Ravi thinks he has a solution to his Seema problem, and he invites her to accompany him to Cairo, where he will be for 5 months filming a movie. Not a bad offer, Seema, but Seema doesn't want to wear heels in the desert. This is her. New York is her place. You can F me in my heels, but not in the desert, damn it. The scene concludes as quickly as it commenced when Ravi says he's in love with Seema and they snuggle foreheads like Eskimos or something, and just like that, all is well with Seema, even though she'll be separated from Ravi for at least 5 months. My neck, my back. Miranda does a great job covering whatever human rights issue she had to address on the BBC, and it looks like she's sweet on the show's producer. I don't recall this woman being in any previous episodes. She could have been, but we're looking at Miranda and this woman like throwing palms and glistening eyes and chitter chatter all over the place. So I guess Miranda is definitely into women and Steve has nothing to worry about. Be free, Steve, be free. Post the supperless supper. Carrie walks around her empty apartment, cradling and talking to her shoe. We hear this popping sound from the window, and we'd be morons not to expect it to be Aiden. I guess the throwing rocks thing is supposed to be romantic. I just spent a pretty penny replacing all the windows in my house, so if some guy was throwing rocks at him, I'd have to throw them right back. Aiden comes up, and he's obviously acting a little funny. Carrie notes that he didn't bring any luggage this time. He sits her down and says she might want to have a drink for this. We all knew this was coming. Wyatt Earp rides into town and kills Carrie's plans. She just bought this big ass apartment for his badass little boys to come and trash, and now he's telling her it ain't happening. Carrie has my blessing to tell Aiden to kick rocks and throw rocks at Wyatt Earp. She's got my blessing on all that. But Carrie's evolved now. So when Aiden tells her to wait for him for just 5 years, just like that, just 5 years, she barely reacts. This is Carrie. This is like the table slamming, Big Mac throwing Carrie that we know and love. Oh, I don't think so. She looks into the beyond and introspectively realizes she really didn't give up on expectations like she said so at the Last Supper. This hurts, and her expectations are shot. Naya takes the Michelin Man chef dude home as if we didn't see that coming. Yeah, he asks her if she has anything to eat. I'm telling you, the dude forgot the food. Carrie and Aiden make love. Friggin' stupid. Carrie's not evolved, and I'm a little annoyed that we might be being set up for Carrie to get pregnant. I don't know, and it pisses me off, but it only takes one time, kids. And if LTW is fertile myrtle, I don't know. That's kind of one of my predictions that I was thinking about, like, why did they have to have sex? He just told her he doesn't want to be with her for at least 5 years, if not indefinitely, a lot can happen in 5 years. So I was like, why was this necessary? We know she's not this bigger, better person. She's not over it. She needs to decompress that whole conversation that her and Aiden just had. And I'm telling you that she's gonna be feeling some type of way. She's not gonna want to be touching Aiden. So I don't know. This was something that they had to do, and I just had this little sneaky suspicion that it's about her becoming pregnant for season 3. That's just my prediction. Let me know what you think. Harry and Charlotte are in bed trying to activate her new iPhone together. I suppose this metaphorically addresses both of their complaints about it being difficult to do life alone, while simultaneously putting a spotlight on us poor single folk. Ew, ew, ew. And as predicted, this ending musical montage thing includes Anthony and Giuseppe. They too are in bed, and they're in the spooning position, except they ain't spooning. I'm not even gonna bother fast forwarding and pausing it in the background. That's what I was afraid of, and they gave it to us. Seema's getting it on with Ravi, and just like that, she let go of distrust. Ouch, my neck, my back. Carrie and Aiden part ways lovingly. Ugh. And she's finally alone with her shoe. Seema calls and tells Carrie she refuses to stay in the city alone. Seema has at least 5 months without Ravi. Carrie has at least 5 years without Aiden. Next scene, the two gals are on a beach in Greece. My neck, my back. Y'all, that concludes this video recap. I hope you enjoyed it. As I mentioned, this is my first time doing any sort of video like this. Be kind, and by all means, let me know if you'd like to see more stuff like this. Also, I have no expectations that this video will travel, but I do want to say that there are other creators that really inspired me. LB is one of them. She's hilarious. I consider her like a sister from another transistor. I don't know. We're also both Floridians, which doesn't mean we're from Florida. It means we're from NOLA, Florida Lee. So you might want to check her out. I purposefully did not watch, well, actually, at the time that I'm recording this, she hasn't posted her finale recap yet, but she's fantastic, and I'm just a little peon. Again, you should see my setup here with the my phone and the camera, and you know, some of my notes. It involves a bungee cord. But thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.